But first, a bipartisan group of senators say it has reached a deal on the framework for a new set of gun violence prevention laws. After weeks of negotiations, 10 Republicans, 10 Democrats announced the breakthrough yesterday, writing in part this: families are scared, and it is our duty to come together and get something done that will help restore their sense of safety and security in their communities. While sources say the final bill has not yet been written, the agreed-upon proposal would include significant funding for states to implement red flag laws, more rigorous background checks for gun buyers under the age of 21. The proposal, however, does not include a total ban on assault weapons, and it does not raise the minimum age to buy an assault weapon. President Biden is praising the new gun bill framework. In a statement released by the White House yesterday, the president writes in part, "Obviously, it does not do everything I think is needed, but reflects important steps in the right direction, and would be the most significant gun safety legislation to pass Congress in decades. Each day that passes, more children are killed in this country. The sooner it comes to my desk, the sooner I can sign it, the sooner we can use these measures to save lives."
And it is progress. Slow progress, but progress. I'm sure you know, I'm sure you studied it. Abraham Lincoln was often criticized for moving too slowly toward ending slavery. Abolitionists like Frederick Douglass noted that viewed from the genuine abolition ground, Mr. Lincoln seemed tardy, cold, dull, and indifferent. But Lincoln was an incrementalist because his enemies were absolutists in their support of slavery. So today, take a deep breath. Those seeking meaningful public safety reform find themselves surrounded by gun manufacturers and their allies who are trying to block laws that Americans support, and laws that could slow down and eventually stop mass killings in our schools. Passing universal background checks, raising the age of buying weapons of war from 18 to 21, and enacting red flag laws in all 50 states, those are wildly popular measures that promote public safety. But even those provisions that sound so incremental didn't make it into the final Senate framework. But a deal was struck. Progress was made. And just ask parents of children killed at Sandy Hook whether that is better than what happened following their tragedy 10 years ago. Yes, progress is small, but it is progress. Lincoln once said of his often criticized march towards emancipation and it being too slow, "I am a slow walker, but I never walk back." May we all keep walking forward together toward a day when our children can again go to school without the fear of weapons of war and mass shootings.
Amen. Joining us now, NBC News correspondent Josh Lederman. Josh was covering this all day yesterday as it went down. Josh, what more can you tell us?
Well, Mika, the big success tomorrow, the breakthrough perhaps, if you will, was the fact that there were 10 Republicans who signed on to this framework agreement that these senators have reached, meaning assuming that that level of support carries forward, you have filibuster-proof support for this legislation and an actual chance of something becoming law, which you contrast that with the much more sweeping package that the House passed just last week that would have gone much farther, but of course, was politically dead on arrival in the Senate. But this is just a framework. As you pointed out in that intro, there's no legislation written yet. And so today, senators and their aides will start the very difficult task of turning this framework into an actual bill that lawmakers can look at. Everybody can decide whether they support it. Frankly, outside groups can start to lobby for it and against it. And that is where getting more political support for this could be really difficult. And it's also why senators who are involved in this want to proceed so quickly. They know that, you know, this was a procedural success, but this bill is not yet over the finish line. And with the elections coming just around the corner, the time to actually put this into law could be short. I spoke last night with Senator Chris Coons, one of the Democrats who signed on to this agreement. And here's what he told me about the timeline that he foresees for turning this into a law.
We still face some potential hurdles. My hope is that we can get a vote on this in the Senate within the next 2 weeks and that we can get it to the president's desk before the end of July. That's a tight timeline for the U.S. Senate, but frankly, the urgency of now, the urgency of acting while there is still a national focus, a national pressure to act, is what I think gives all of us optimism that this time may be different.
And Mika, it was just a few weeks ago that Congressman Chris Jacobs of New York, of the same region where that Buffalo shooting took place, came out in support of some modest gun restrictions, and within a week was literally chased out of Congress, said he's going to resign because as a Republican, it had become politically impossible, essentially, for him to win re-election. This is the opposite of what Democrats hope is the message that will be sent by this legislation. Yes, it's incremental, according to Chris Coons, but Democrats and gun control advocates are hoping that even a modest step that enjoys Republican support, perhaps north of that 10 who have signed on, perhaps they get closer to 70, as a lot of Democrats would like to, they hope that that creates a precedent where Republicans see more political space for them in the future to endorse even more far-reaching gun restrictions without the fear of the kind of repercussion that just shoot a Republican member out of Congress. They hope that will lay the groundwork for much more ambitious measures to reduce gun violence in the future, Mika.
All right. Good explainer, NBC's Josh Letterman. Thank you very much.
Jonathan Lemire, what are you hearing at the White House?
Well, the president's statement is pretty clear that this was not everything they wanted. I mean, they were hoping for a far more overreaching measure here on guns, that they were certainly hoping to raise the age on assault weapons to purchase from 18 to 21. That's not happening. But they'll take it. The sense is, as you said, Joe, and as Josh just reported, that it's progress, even incremental. That's better than nothing. That was the sense from White House aides I talked to last night. There is a hope, and we've heard this from some Republicans, too, to get that number up beyond the 60 votes, closer to 65, 70, not only just politically to give more Republicans cover, but to indeed show them that this could be something that you can put your name toward and you may not suffer electoral consequences. We know how well these measures poll. We've been talking about them since the wake of the Buffalo and Uvalde shootings. 70-80% of Americans believe in these steps. And frankly, most of them want to go a lot further than this deal the Senate has reached. So aides I talked to last night, senior White House officials, yes, there's a little bit of disappointment that they couldn't do more, but they are pleased. They're glad this is a step in the right direction. And they do think that it could open the door to further steps. But the fear, as one aide put it to me, will those next steps come only in the wake of another gun tragedy? And they certainly hope not.